Have you found yourself struggling to get quality sleep? Either you lay down at night and you can't fall asleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., and you don't know why, or you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're done sleeping. You don't know why, but you're just ready to go for the day. Maybe you're laying there, 10, 15 minutes goes by, and you're still not falling back asleep. So you just wake up and figure you're going to power through it. Today, I want to talk about how to identify patterns and triggers of poor sleep. And it's something really simply that you can start right now to do and figure out what is causing this poor sleep. All right, so you're gonna start with a sleep tracker or a sleep journal. So if you have one of those Fitbit watches or a smartwatch that actually can give you insight to the different stages of your sleep, then pull out that sucker, charge it up, and get ready to wear it to sleep for the next couple of nights, because we could use that to get some helpful insights about your sleep. If you don't have one of those trackers, then you can just start by using a nighttime journal and making entries as you go throughout each day. So you're going to want to know what time you went to bed, what time you woke up, what time you woke up in the nighttime, like woke up to siren at this time. And you obviously don't have to like wake up, turn on a light, and journal at that point in time, but you're going to want to record it the next day. And any other details, maybe I worked out today, or I did resistance training, or I did no exercise. I had a really sedentary day. I had a triggering phone call with my mother in law. I ate fried food before bed. All of these notes are actually going to give us insight about what's going on with your sleep. And what we're looking at for your daily entries is to figure out a pattern and also to figure out what's an outlier. So we want to be aware of all these things. Also, if you're a woman and you're trying to fix your sleep schedule, then you're going to want to know where you are in your menstrual cycle. So I'm in my ovulatory phase. I'm in my luteal phase. I want to know what's happening with your hormone levels as well. So, your daily entries include as much information as you can about your sleep practice. The next thing we're going to do is track the external factors that are impacting your sleep. So, think about this: your room temperature, your sounds, like a siren went off, the neighbor's dog is barking, and or I'm on a medication for anxiety and I just changed my medication and I'm not sleeping as well. All of these external factors that are possibly impacting your sleep, we want to make a note of. Then we want to start to identify the triggers. So we're going to review the daily entries that you're making about your sleep and notice where you had a trigger that actually could have prevented you from falling asleep. So I went to a woman's circle, and it was at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And normally I go to bed around 8 o'clock at night. I had some ceremonial cacao, and that night I didn't fall asleep until 1 a.m. I was like, what the heck? I'm laying there. It's 8:39 at night, and I was like, why can I not sleep? I could look back on that sleep journal and see, oh my gosh, I had cacao this night, which had caffeine in it, and I'm super sensitive to caffeine, as we all are. Some of us, over time, start to build up a tolerance to that, but that doesn't negate the sleep deprivation that is actually happening as we consume caffeine. So start to make notes. My last cup of coffee or tea that had caffeine in it was at 8 a.m. Make your notes in your daily entries so we can start to look at the different stressful activities that are potentially causing a trigger or an issue with your sleep. Then we are going to start to make connections. So one of my favorite part of working with people one-on-one is just being the person to help them make connections. Okay, so looking at your sleep diary or entry, did anything else happen on this day? I noticed that you were really restless or you had a really poor night's sleep this day. Was there a relationship with somebody at work? Was there a disagreement with your spouse? Was there a phone call that disrupted you? Did you not work out this day? Did you do resistance training in the morning? Did you do a high intensity interval training course at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and then you couldn't fall asleep until 11? Did you take a really hot bath at 9 o'clock and you tried to fall asleep at 9:30 and you just couldn't drop into sleep? What factors were actually preventing you from getting that good sleep? Now we take out the outliers, we set those aside, and we look at the consistencies that keep happening. So every single night, it might just be that when I lay down, I can't fall asleep at night, and I feel really tired, but I get in my bed and I just can't fall asleep. When we start to really understand what's going on, we can look at your sleep efficiency and start to make changes to your bedtime routine to adjust so you can fall asleep in a timely manner and stay asleep and sleep through the morning. And then you're going to start to have actual changes. So, using your journal and your sleep entries, you're actually going to start to make a change. Okay, so this thing where I work out in the evening isn't working for me because I still feel charged at nighttime. I get this burst of energy from exercise, but it's 2 hours before I go to bed. So, let me start to make that actual change of putting my resistance training first thing in the morning. And guys, there are things that you can do that can drastically impact your sleep health, your sleep hygiene. One of those things being that you're going to make sure that you exercise, do resistance training first thing in the morning. You're going to make sure that you expose yourself to light from the outside environment first thing in the morning. You are going to make sure that you avoid screens, not just because of the light that it puts into your eyes, into your brain, into your body. It's because of the stimulation effect that it has on your brain, so you don't want to fall asleep. It's actually really addicting, and that keeps you going back to the screen. That keeps you in the state of continuously problem solving and activating, and it's really stimulating for your brain. So we're going to avoid that right before bedtime. We're going to create an environment that is beautiful and serene and relaxing for sleep. So think of it like this new tradition, this new way of being. And the purpose behind it is to improve every area of your health and wellness and well being. So you want to get better deep sleep so you can start to regulate your emotions, to start to heal from your body. If you're working out and you want to see some massive gains in your workouts, then you need to get some sleep, because that all is going to happen in your first state of deep sleep, that first portion of the night. And if you're having a hard time with brain fog or recalling memories and emotionally regulating yourself, maybe feeling anxious and depressed, then you really want to focus on your sleep, because that REM sleep is so important for your cognitive function. So there is a bigger reason other than just having maybe a boring nighttime routine or not having much of a life. Is like having a consistent routine actually sets you up for being energized, energetic through the rest of your day without relying on stimulants to keep you going. So we have a resistance training in the morning. We have waking up and exposing ourselves to the environment from the outside, the light, first thing in the morning. We have calming down and putting away screens at nighttime. We have focusing in on the external environment. So we want that cool environment, cozy, dark, consistent noise. If you have a lot of external noise, maybe wear earplugs or consider a sound machine to drown out the noise. And start to wind down, relaxing the body, doing like make a list of things that relax you. Like, I like coloring, I like journaling. For me, when I was young, as soon as I would pick up a book to read, I would pass out. So it was a trick that I did for myself when I was 7 years old. I knew if I picked up this one little book, I would pass out every single time. I'd fall asleep with the light on, like a little baby light on this book, and I knew one page and I'd be done. So think of the exercises and things that you can do that are promoting relaxation, not stimulation. Being on your cell phone, doing research on YouTube, scrolling Facebook, scrolling TikTok, it's actually activating your brain. It's keeping you awake. So if the trouble is sleep and you can't fall asleep, stay asleep, then start to work on these things. Also, what you're going to focus on is eating more protein. This is going to help you balance your blood sugar. So if you're waking in the hours from 2 to 4, you definitely want to focus on increasing your protein, okay? So that's 0.8 grams or 1 gram per body weight. So I weigh 130 pounds. I'm going to eat at least 130 grams of protein. And having that be the first thing that you're focusing for about and in the morning, getting that protein in the morning is actually going to, along with the resistance training, is drastically going to impact your blood sugar levels. Which, guess what? That impacts your sleep level. Because if you have blood sugar levels that are um, climbing high and dropping low and climbing high, this is eventually going to lead to insulin resistance and issues getting quality sleep, staying asleep. So let's start to ask questions. It starts with identifying the different patterns for what's going on so we can rule out the outliers and we can pull in and actually look at and hone in and then make connections to make the different changes to your sleep. I'd love to hear from you what has worked for you in getting good sleep. What were the practices that you were doing? Was it I had to use a sound machine, I needed an air conditioner, I keep a fan on my body, or maybe it was all of these against it, like I actually sleep in a hot room. I would love to hear what are some of the practices for you. Is it herbal teas? Is it aromas? Are you using your lavender on your temples before bed? Is it yoga? Is it relaxation? How do you get your best quality sleep? I'd love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day and thank you for joining me.